Hello, everyone. My name is Ellison, and I'm running for the United States Senate. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here with us for our Fridays for Florida virtual discussion on Black History Month. This is Black History Month, and every February we get a chance to talk about Black history, the things that Black people in America have done to contribute to this society, and they are insurmountable. Uh, we have seen a lot of things that have actually moved our society forward. We have African Americans who have paved the way for technological advancement. A lot of people don't know that it was African Americans who paved 80% of the land, cleared 80% of the land in America that was landlocked, making it possible for the expansion of the railroad system, making it possible for the highway systems to be built, leading us to the Industrial Revolution, which allowed America to become the superpower that it is. African Americans have always been there to make our society greater by the hard work and intestinal fortitude that exists within our people. And we are happy to be talking about the issues that help build America. Happy to be talking about the issues that Black Americans deal with, because we don't get a chance to have these discussions too much. So if you please, if you can, write your questions and comments into the chat. I will do my best to answer those questions, and so that we can have dialogue about the state of Black America. This is Black History Month, and you are listening to Alan Ellison, running for the United States Senate for our Fridays for Florida discussion. In America, Black people have been persecuted, oppressed, beaten. This lasted for 400 years. I'm talking about slavery. Slavery lasted in America for 400 years. And in those 400 years, people were beaten, raped, discarded, treated subhuman, so much so that we have lost the ability to recognize who we are as a people. We've lost our language. We've lost our culture. We've lost our history, our lineage. That is not a good place for African Americans. We have had to endure so much in this country, and yet we are still without an official national apology. We are still without reparations, even though President Abraham Lincoln filed what was known as the Special Field Order to give every free Black American land in the South for coming out of the atrocity that we know as slavery. In 1865, in the same year, his successor, President Andrew Johnson, actually reversed that special field order that gave land to free Black men and women. President Andrew Johnson actually took the land and divided it up, giving it to his family, his friends in southern states. Out of all the people, out of all the different ethnicities in this country that were handled grossly, every one of those ethnic groups have received some form of reparations. We know that Asians were quarantined in this country. We know that reparations was given to Asians, Japanese Americans for the bombing of Pearl Harbor, not the Pearl Harbor, but for the Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We know that Native Americans were given a form of reparations by not having to pay taxes. We know that they were given a form of reparations by having certain lands that were set aside. But out of everyone, African Americans suffered the longest and have yet to receive any form of reparations. And basically what reparations is, it is a formal apology by a government to try and make the wrongs right by giving an economic base to help move a people forward for the atrocities that were perpetrated upon them. And when we look around today, there are people who literally want African Americans to forget. There are groups of people who are celebrated for remembering and never forgetting the atrocities that have taken place on their families and their histories. But African Americans are constantly told to forget about it, to look past it, to get beyond it. Well, in order for us to get beyond it, we must right a lot of the wrongs that have taken place in this country. We must be open and willing to have dialogue about these issues, and we must hold representatives, elected officials, governors accountable when they try their best to work past the conversation, to work past the issue without being held accountable. And we know that right now in the state of Florida, there are policies that have gone forward, signed by the governor, to keep these conversations out of our school systems. And that is why we hear a lot of people saying that Black history is American history. Because with all of the accomplishments, with all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into making this country the greatest nation on earth, then we should at least be able to talk about all of American history, which includes that of Black Americans. And so this conversation is one that we are holding because it's one that's not being had across the nation. We need to have this conversation each and every day. We need to make sure that our children are hearing this conversation so they know where we have come from and where we should not be headed back to. I believe that any policy that is written, any laws that are made, any leaders that are elected should always be working towards policies that move our society forward. Anytime you see leaders and policy that is written that move our country backwards, it is not good policy, and these leaders should be voted out of office. Policies that move us back only make life good for some and not good for all. We have to write policies that work to pull everybody forward. If your brother, your neighbor, isn't doing good and you're doing good, how can you sit back and be happy about life? Me personally, I can't do it. I can only be truly happy when everyone is doing good. Because if we are brothers and sisters, if we are neighbors, if we are community members and stakeholders, then we have to hold ourselves accountable and we have to make sure that everyone is doing well. That is why I support programs like universal healthcare. That's why I support programs like universal basic income. Because what these programs do is that they give everyone a base. So I support reparations for Black Americans because it gives Black Americans a base to work from. These are not handouts. These are programs designed to help people, to get people on the equal playing field. Dr. King said it best. He said, if you start out in a race behind, either one or two things are going to have to happen. Either the person ahead is going to have to slow down, and there's no way they want to, or the person behind is going to have to run faster. But if we don't ever change either one dynamics, then you will forever be behind in a race. And so the goal is to level the playing field, to right any wrongs that have taken place in this country, because we really have the power to. America is the greatest nation on earth because of its diversity. We have contributed so many positive things to this society. We have made this society rich. We have made the society great. And it's all because of diversity. For anyone who doesn't understand that, for anyone who doesn't believe that, it is very un-American to think that way. It is very American to appreciate the diversities that exist in our society. And that is why we're having this conversation, because we want to celebrate diversity. We want to celebrate African-American accomplishments. We want to celebrate all of the things that we bring to the table to help move our society forward. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here with us for our Fridays for Florida. I'm going to head over to Twitter and I'm going to answer questions over there, what we call our Power Hour Town Hall. Usually I answer questions within an hour. Hopefully you'll be able to join us over there. But if not, please put your thoughts and comments in the chat below, and I will do my best to answer those questions. Please visit our website at allenellison.com. I look forward to working with you to make sure that we can continue to build our society. We have a bunch of change agents from across the country who have joined our movement to improve the quality of life for everyone. Black history is American history. And thank you so much for all of you that have been sharing stories about the accomplishments of African Americans in this country. Please join our team, AlanEllison.com, make a contribution, because your contribution helps us to get the word out. It helps us to amplify our message and reach even more people with hard facts, with truth, with policy, better understanding of how government should work for everyone and not just some. Again, thank you all very much, and you have a wonderful evening.